In the headlines, President Buhari endorses party's Muslim-Muslim ticket, confident of 2023. Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) confirms 3 cases of monkeypox in Borno. Senate passes electricity bill as national grid collapses for the 5th time in 2022. And on the foreign scene, Russia's Nord Stream gas flow to Europe resumes. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. President Muhammadu Buhari has welcomed the choice of ex-Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima as the running mate of the APC candidate Bola Tinubu. Buhari said this in a statement by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu after receiving the vice presidential candidate and after he was unveiled by the leadership of the party and Asiwaju Ahmad Tinubu. In his remarks, Senator Kashim Shettima expressed appreciation to the president for his empathy, support and positive role leading to his emergence as the running mate to Tinubu and pledged to remain loyal and devoted to the president and the party.
To register our profound gratitude to the father of the nation for his leadership, for his support and for his endorsement of my person as the vice presidential candidate APC. We owe him a debt of gratitude. He deserves to be celebrated, and we are here to celebrate him and essentially to thank him most sincerely from the bottom of our hearts. I'm accompanied by my boss, the Governor of Borno State, and the Honorable Minister representing Borno in the Federal Executive Council. This is essentially what brought us here. We felt morally bound to come and thank him personally before we come with a larger delegation on Friday. And he has given us his word that he will campaign vigorously for the ticket for us to cruise home to victory in 2023 presidential elections.
Alhamdulillah, we, the people of Borno State, we are very much grateful. We are so much happy to see one of us becoming the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, of which we never had this opportunity. We are close to this opportunity during MQ Abiola stroke, Babagana Kingibe. So this time around, we believe one of us will become the Vice President of the nation. And inshallah, he will become the Vice President of the entire nation. And indeed, he will support the government of Borno State also, so that I will also consolidate in what I'm doing in the state with a view to moving the nation forward.
And suspected bandits have gunned down 4 farmers and abducted several others at different villages in Sabon Birni local government area of Sokoto State in the last 2 days. The farmers were reportedly attacked while working on their respective farms. According to the former chairman of Sabon Birni local government area, Engineer Idris Danchadi, over 70 farmers were abducted by the assailants. Danchadi noted that 7 farmers were abducted at Ungwanlalli and Angao villages. The member representing Sabon Birni local government area, Aminu Boza, said the bandits attacked a bus along Sabon Birni Goronyo Road on Monday and abducted all its passengers with the exception of a 2-year-old girl. When contacted, the spokesman of the Sokoto State Police Command, DSP Sanusi Abubakar, confirmed the incident. Meanwhile, Kogi State Police Commissioner Edward Ebuka has debunked news making the rounds that 10 police officers were allegedly kidnapped while returning from Osun State governorship election. He said the police officers have been accounted for by the command. The commissioner, who disclosed this on Wednesday, said the convoy of the officers was actually attacked by bandits on Sunday, but none of them was kidnapped as alleged. He added that when the said police officers were attacked, all of them escaped into the bush to avoid being kidnapped. CP Ebuka stated further that when the dust settled down, all the 10 officers alleged to have been kidnapped returned safely from their hideout and have rejoined their colleagues in Nasarawa State. The Zamfara state government says the emir of Birnin Endoto Emirate, Aliyu Marafa, was suspended because he was wrong to have conferred a traditional title on Ado Aliru, who is on the wanted list of the federal government for security reasons. The State's Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara, made this known while speaking with newsmen over the controversy that surrounded the suspension of the 2-month-old emir. The report. The Zamfara State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara, said although any emir can appoint traditional title holders without seeking approval from the state government, the turbaning of Ado Aliru is different because he is on the wanted list of the federal government. Dosara explained that since Ado Aliru was a wanted man, the suspended emir Aliyu Marafa ought to have written to the state government seeking approval through the governor, who will in turn forward the request to the State Security Council, which will screen and thereafter submit its recommendation to the State's Executive Council for ratification. According to him, a committee has been appointed to investigate the circumstances that led to the conferment of the traditional title, noting that recommendations of the committee will inform what action will be taken against the suspended emir.
Under normal circumstances, any emir can appoint traditional title holder without seeking approval from the government. But because Adamu Aliru is on the wanted list of the federal government for security reasons, the emir ought to have written to the government seeking for approval through the governor, who will forward that request to Security Council meeting, who will screen and look the pros and cons of appointing that person to that title, but none of this was done.
The commissioner, while lauding communities in the state for taking initiatives that will lead to the restoration of peace in their domains and subsequent return of farming, however, warned that such steps must be within the confines of the law and based on sound moral standards.
Well, like we said, the general term or preference for the committee is to find out the circumstances that led to comparing that title on that person.
Dosara assured that the state government will ensure that it does nothing capable of jeopardizing the federal government's effort to rid the country of violent criminals. And still talking security, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Kano State has vowed to wield the sledgehammer on vandals and other criminals disrupting the fragile peace of the state. The state commandant of the NSCDC, Muhammad Bello, announced this while parading some suspected electricity transformer vandals in Katsina. Trust TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi reports that the fight against vandals and other miscreants is coming at a time when the war against terrorists is hitting hard on the citizens of the state. The report.
These suspects were caught in the act and arrested by the NSCDC in Tanja local government. Activities of vandals have thrown dozens of communities into darkness and untold hardship in the last few months.
And actually these people, they are not first-time offenders. They actually participated in series of petty crimes in Dubai town. They were responsible for stealing sets of generators. They were responsible for even setting ablaze a farm product belonging to someone. It's called Ibrahim. They were also responsible for stealing domestic animals. They were equally responsible for breaking into the Sharia court complex in Dubai and stealing fans and other items. So they are serious criminals. But this command, in its efforts, because we are not relenting in our effort to fight these people that are destroying, vandalizing critical infrastructure and assets. So we are making all efforts to make sure that all these people are brought to book.
The suspected vandals and miscreants, Kabir Janaidu, Yahya Yunusa, and Muhammad Hamza, who confessed to committing the offense, are asking the NSCDC to temper justice with mercy. Others in the custody of the NSCDC are two suspected phone snatchers who were arrested in connection with snatching and beating their victims to the point of coma. I regret my actions. I participated in the vandalization of so many electricity transformer and cables in Kano State. There was a time we took some materials to Lokoja in Kogi State, where we sold them to one of our masters. We were arrested for the offense we have committed. We are victims of circumstances. There is poverty everywhere. No food, no job, no capital, nothing. This is out of necessity. Worried by the increasing spread of criminalities, the commandant announced the constitution of security stakeholders committees comprising traditional and opinion leaders as well as political actors. The committees also include chairmen and secretaries of community security committees to assist the NSCDC and sister security organizations to checkmate the activities of miscreants in Katsina metropolis. The ancient city of Katsina is facing a serious breach of security fueled by political thuggery on other criminal acts. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And to health matters now, where the Borno State Ministry of Health has reported cases of monkeypox infections in the state. The State Director of Health confirmed the development, saying that out of the 4 suspected cases, 3 were confirmed positive by NCDC. Trust TV's reports that stakeholders and development partners are strategizing to ensure proper sensitization to enhance prevention of the epidemic-prone diseases. The report.
The sensitization campaign, which was kick-started by the World Health Organization, focused on the health dangers of COVID-19, cholera, malaria, and monkeypox. These diseases that claimed millions of lives globally, experts said are contracted through unhygienic environments and unhealthy lifestyle. The outbreak of monkeypox in Borno State prompted the World Health Organization to engage its community health champions to embark on the sensitization campaign to 30 households in 30 days.
Da ake cewa monkeypox ko yi sanan mamata so saboda haka irin yaran mu haka matasa da suke farauta su je su kamo wannan nama su kamo wannan kuma saboda haka zamu ringa tsaftace muhallin mu da abubuwan cin mu da shan mu.
They taught us the importance of cleaning our houses and also how to properly wash and boil meats so as to avoid sickness, and we should ensure good hygiene for our children. We, the community, accept this sensitization program because my interactions with the households, they appreciate the knowledge on these diseases. So anything that has to do with health, we welcome it because there is high rate of diseases in this community.
The WHO and Minister of Health and the partners are working around the clock to ensuring that we intensify the case search for the cases in the communities, and also we do contact tracing. We've been collecting samples to ensure that those suspected cases are also tested, and we are also making sure that the health workers are being sensitized and empowered in a sense that they will be able also to timely report and pick up those cases that might have reported to the facilities, and also try to give them the necessary support that are required.
The World Health Organization said it will extend the campaign to prone communities in the state.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, struggling dry meat business. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now, a recap of our top stories. President Buhari endorses party's Muslim ticket, confident of 2023. And Nigeria Center for Disease Control confirms 3 cases of monkeypox in Borno. And moving on to other news now. Justice Emeka Nwiti of the Federal High Court Abuja has adjourned until August 30th the ruling on the case against suspended DSP Abakari, who is standing trial for alleged dealing in drugs. The adjournment followed the hearing of the fresh bail application tendered by the defendants on Wednesday. The Defense Counsel had, while seeking the release of Kyari on bail, argued against the unsafe nature of the correctional facility where Kyari is remanded, especially after the breach by suspected Boko Haram. Boyega Oyewale, who represented the Defense Counsel, agreed with 30th August adjournment because the court will be starting vacation.
Fresh application for bail. So we have adjourned for the ruling on the application for bail, since you know the court will be starting vacation. Yes, it's adjourned to the 30th of August for ruling. Well, the judge will be the vacation judge at this period. That's why the long adjournment was given. Circumstances has changed. Everybody now knows that Kuje prison is not safe, despite the assurances given by the prosecution. You know that the defendants were hard-working law officers that have succeeded in securing several convictions. So we urge on the court the consideration of these facts.
And by the grace of Almighty God, the case is moving as expected, because it's easy to allege, but very difficult to prove what you are alleging. And so far, having taken the third witness, we're expecting the 6th and 7th convict to come and testify, which the court, of course, has adjourned till 30th of August to take both the bail applications, to rather give ruling on the bail applications, as well as possibly continue with the trial and testimonies of the fourth and the 5th witnesses.
Now, dried meat, popularly known as kilishi, is among the most profitable trades associated with butchers in northern Nigeria. In Sokoto State, the business of kilishi has been thriving over the years, but slowed down recently due to the high cost of animals and other materials used in preparing it. Idris Jibrin reports that traders are now struggling to maintain the trade. The report.
Arzika Bello has been in the business of kilishi for over 60 years. He inherited the trade from his father and is now passing it to 5 of his children. There was a time when you can never get kilishi anywhere in Sokoto apart from this place. But now that people are gradually realizing the importance of kilishi, you can find it in many parts of Sokoto State. Dried meat, otherwise known as kilishi, is done from various animals and is popular among butchers in many parts of northern Nigeria. In Sokoto State, traders say the business of kilishi is paying off. Honestly, this trade is very, very important and is helpful to us. It's been helping us because we grew up and see our father doing this business, and he taught us how to do it, and we are still doing it. And it is with this trade that he took our responsibilities from primary school to secondary school. Some of us have even finished university. But the inadequate capital, the high cost of animals and other ingredients used in preparing it, as well as the lack of government intervention, is gradually threatening the very survival of this trade in Sokoto. Actually, our main challenge is the high cost of animals and the other ingredients that we are using to prepare the kilishi. In fact, some animals, if you slaughter it, you can't even make the money out of it because it's very expensive. So everything is actually expensive, and we have been yearning for government intervention, and up till now it hasn't come. We've been trying, and they have been promising us that they will help us, they will assist us in making this trade better. But up till now, we haven't seen any assistance. although several promises were made to these people, but they say it hasn't been fulfilled yet, and that if nothing is done to assist them, their business may be extinct. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Sokoto.
Now, the Senate has passed the Electricity Bill 2022 to improve the utilization of generated power and solve the sector's challenges. The bill was passed on Wednesday after the consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Power. The report.
Chairman of the committee, Senator Gabriel Suswam, said the bill seeks to, among others, provide an ideal legal and institutional framework to leverage on the modest gains of the privatization phase of the electricity power sector in Nigeria.
Mr. President, this one deals with situation where state, in the bill now, state can legally generate power, transmit and distribute without any hindrance. Any individual who have the capacity can do same. That is a new introduction in the bill. It has now opened up so that any individual who have the capacity can go and generate power, transmit it and distribute it if we have the capacity to engage in transmission and distribution. That has been introduced now, and so Nigerians are free.
The Senate President, midway through consideration of the bill, sought to know the role and operational capacity of banks that had taken over distribution companies indebted to them.
Were taken over by some banks that this discourse owed so much money. That changes the landscape, because banks, or let me say those banks, do not have the capacity, the wherewithal to run the discourse. What happens with our discourse now in the hands of banks? Are they going to privatize them again, or government should look into it and do the privatization once again?
Responding, Senator Suswam explains that the takeover of entities by banks was duly carried out in collaboration with the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission and Bureau of Public Enterprise. The Electricity Bill 2020, after a close-by-close consideration of the committee's report by the Committee of the Whole, was passed by the upper chamber.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria electricity grid crashed on Wednesday to 0 megawatts after a fault that threw the entire country into a blackout. This is coming 38 days after a similar collapse on June 12th and just 20 days after the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission enforced a guarantee of 5,000 megawatts and at least 4,000 megawatts. The latest system collapse, being the fifth this year, occurred around 12 noon when the grid went blank. Data from the system operators shows that the Section Transmission Company of Nigeria indicated that the grid generation had dropped from over 3,000 megawatts earlier to 2,788.90 megawatts, with 19 active generation companies. And now a look at the foreign scene, where natural gas has started flowing through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline from Russia to Germany after a 10-day shutdown for maintenance. But the gas flow is expected to fall well short of full capacity amid German fears that the Kremlin is using energy as a weapon of war. Russia is prioritizing the capture of critical national infrastructure, such as power plants, in Ukraine. This comes as CIA Chief Bill Burns says the United States estimates Russian casualties in Ukraine so far have reached about 15,000 killed and perhaps 45,000 wounded. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and, of course, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.